June 2025, and welcome back to my viewers on the Common Sense group. I hope to go every evening with a little bit of social commentary on this, that, and the other at 10 p.m. Irish time. So I'm going to call it the Common Sense News at 10. There's a lot of foolish news on TV, etc., and there's a lot of fake news, and there's a lot of distraction and misdirection. There's only one real interesting story in Ireland today, and that is with regards the young fellow that killed himself down in Carlow there some number of days or weeks ago. It's a very interesting case, and some serious questions has to be asked with regards the events that took place. Depending on which report you read, the fellow was 20. Some say now he was 22, but regardless of what age he was. If you are to believe the reports, this fellow was able to go on what's known as the dark web and purchase and have delivered to him in Ireland some very sophisticated firearms in the form of a Heckler and Koch. Some pronounce that Koch, but it's a Heckler and Koch, and it's supposedly be a fully automatic machine gun. Now, I would point out that the rifles used in mass shootings in the United States, for example, none of them are fully automatic at all. They are what's known as semi-automatic, which means each shot is fired on one press of the trigger by your finger. So you might be able to fire 3 shots a second or whatever. Fully automatic means it's like an actual machine gun, like a Brin gun and fully automatic or whatever. They can fire 600 to 1,000 rounds in a minute, depending on the type of gun. We are talking serious weapons when you're talking a fully automatic rifle used by the military, obviously. Supposedly, he was able to get those guns. Anyway, he was caught, he was brought to court, and that is where the story gets very complicated indeed. It would appear as if the authorities are going to cut this fellow some type of deal to do whatever they want him to do, which is unknown to me and to the audience as well. So he was out on bail. How a person could be out on bail after being caught in the possession of such a sophisticated rifle is beyond me, because a common criminal getting caught in Dublin with a pistol or a revolver or something compared to this, which would be very basic, he is looking at 10 years in jail or whatever it is. It's a serious crime. Anyway, he was out on bail. He ended up killing himself with a shotgun. But it does turn out that the Gardaí will have supplied him with other weapons, and because he had a fascination of with weapons, type of mental illness, indeed. And whatever was planned for that event, we do not know. But the questions that has to be asked by his family are, why was this fellow not taken into custody given the psychiatric care he needed? Instead, he was going to be used, in my opinion anyway, to be what's known as a sort of a controlled person. They've made movies about controlled people. Perhaps he was programmed, suggested, whatever, to carry out an atrocity, and for whatever reason, he just flipped and whatnot. But certainly, that is the biggest news story in Ireland today, and that is the story that must be investigated and brought to light. I haven't had time to study it closely, but I believe that a TD, Alan Kelly, has brought this to the Dáil today and spoke on it. He, of course, can speak under the privilege of the Dáil, which means he can actually say anything. My understanding, again, without time to study it, is that the Can Corla uh, gavelled him into silence because he was asking very important questions. And that is something that must be answered to if it was a real newscaster that we have in Ireland, which of course it is not. As this is going on, there's a lot of um, stories that are really distractions with riots up in Ballymena and whatnot. It's easy enough to understand these riots. These are part of a game plan, and the problem has been created, as we know. The problem is putting a different culture into places that, even when it was just Christians of different denominations, was still a very volatile and hostile spot for both sides. Putting people from different religions and cultures into this environment is just, it can only lead to one thing, which is obvious. There's going to be serious trouble. So, sure enough, serious trouble. That is the problem. Now, the reaction, of course, is serious trouble, which is not even predicted. It is guaranteed to happen. Not predicted. It's not probable. It is actually guaranteed. Now we're into the reaction phase where people are doing what they deem necessary for their basic survival. And who can blame them for that? They are attacking homes and whatnot. Now, you must remember that a lot of people leading those attacks will be working for uh, government agencies or whatever, and then the mass will follow them and be led to their destruction. And it will not be targeted very successfully, as we have seen. I have seen a video of a black man who claimed he had two cars burned out. This fellow had nothing to do with the actual incident at all. As bad and all as that was, there was a worse case where a man from the Philippines, they are trying to make a living for himself, whether it's right, wrong, indifferent. That's what he's doing. He's trying to repair a car for his friend or his neighbor. That car is burned out. This guy has been devastated. And any Filipino that I've ever met in my existence, and I've met quite a few of them, they are the nicest people you could possibly meet. And Indonesians are very similar to them. There's a lot of very nice people in this world. This fellow, of course, was targeted for mistake, perhaps, or whatever, but I can guarantee you he had nothing to do with any atrocity. It would appear the people that had um, involvement in the atrocity were from Eastern Europe, of a nomadic nature, not known to the honesty whatsoever. I know that because some British MP spoke video and he blurted it out, and needless to say, the person that was interviewing did their very best to silence him. But remember that now will be allowed to grow, and it's only beginning, and you will see similar incidents in Southern Ireland. It is guaranteed. It's not predictable. It's just guaranteed. So I would like to keep these little videos short, under 10 minutes here, so I am keeping an eye on it. But that is just a little bit of update on the news. As I say, there's a million and one things that I've been asked to talk about, like forming clans and going into financial markets and how they work and this, that, and the other. But I may get to them or I may not. We'll see. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.